Just good God. All right. Look, before we get to the cheering up, something I want to read you. Something that a friend of mine wrote. He wrote it in great articulation and in great anger. And it is called, quite simply, Thanksgiving Dinner and Uncle Bob by Mike Dawson. I like Mike. Mike is a good guy. He's still with us. This was written on Thursday, June 9th, which was right before the Democratic primary. Bernie or bust, as I am now calling it, Uncle Bob is not about a man named Bernie Sanders. Uncle Bob goes much deeper than the political fortunes of one man. This year, we all know Uncle Bob is coming to Thanksgiving. And like all awkward, if not unwanted relatives, many are all wondering how we will all get along without our glorious turkey dinner in November. There is a sore winner faction of the family that has been telling Uncle Bob and his side of the family to just sit down, shut up, and eat your turkey. Be thankful even that they allow progressives like Uncle Bob to have dressing and gravy. Just shut up and be thankful. Even if most of the adults on Uncle Bob's side of the family now have to sit at the kiddie table, ignored and no longer part of the adult conversation. This has been going on every Thanksgiving since the second year of Bill Clinton's presidency. The family dynamic, shaky but holding together, dramatically changed in that second term, but no one told the other part of the family that dinner would be different from then on. When Barack Obama decided to host Thanksgiving at his place for 8 years, so many of the Bob side of the family cheered because they thought at long last, someone will be at the head of the table carving the turkey and we will all sit together once again at a bigger table, share the food as a family, and be part of the adult conversation. Fast forward to 2016, when the progressive Bob part of the family has been holding their noses and voting out of fear of the other family down the block. A sick family of bigots and bullies threatening to ruin all future holiday gatherings for all families with their lunacy and venomous talking points. Vile, un-American propaganda cloaked in the most insidious doublespeak, every word smithed by the best of liars. Is it any surprise why Uncle Bob won't just shut up at the table as in years past? It doesn't help that second cousin Rahm Emanuel let it slip one Thanksgiving at the table while Obama was carving the turkey, that the prevailing attitude from the side of the family ensconced in power was that liberals should shut the hell up and stop demanding things. Besides, who are they going to vote for anyway? The message being that the Bob side of the family had no choice. This is a moment that really woke up Uncle Bob. The very term liberal had been under such attack from that other family down the street for so long, with no one from the power side of our family saying much to stop it, that almost half of the family had to pivot and shift into rebranding themselves as progressives instead of liberals, because no one was standing up to the name-calling bullies down the street. It is 2016, and before we even had a primary, we were told, with the same air of audacity as in years past, that Hillary and Bill would once again be hosting Thanksgiving, and that this time, Hillary would be carving the turkey, and that Uncle Bob could come, but it was to be business as usual, with shut up and eat your turkey at the kiddie table. It's understandable that Bob blew his gasket. There is a whole side of this family that is sick and tired of being told to shut up and be thankful that we even get invited to Thanksgiving in the first place. It's salt in the wound that the reality is, without the strong, passionate support of Uncle Bob and his money and enthusiasm for a better holiday for all families in the world, that the audacity side of the family hosting Thanksgiving won't be the hosts without Bob and his progressive side of the family's support. No one, and I mean no one, But the most insane propagandized of that other bigoted bullying family down the street wants to eat Trump steaks for Thanksgiving dinner. The problem is Bob has a point. And the part of the family that has ignored or marginalized the progressive side of the family have done nothing to really authentically say, we hear you, and we sincerely want to work with you to fix things. Bob is not about one man running for president. The sore winners shouting at the Bob side of the family to once again shut up and get in line demonstrate only that they still don't get it. The progressive side of the family that have coalesced around Uncle Bob are sick and tired of voting their fears. Sick and tired of being told to shut up and take what they are told to eat and be grateful it isn't a KKK steak. After 20 plus years of being marginalized and ignored, the sides of the family that is coalesced around Uncle Bob simply can't sit down. Can't simply shut up, and certainly refuse to sit at the kiddie table eating the scraps of the big table that the big table sends their way. The hard reality is Bill and Hillary don't get to host Thanksgiving without Uncle Bob and his supporters. If they continue to fail to recognize this isn't about loyalty to a man named Bernie and clue into the larger picture that this is a moment of turning, we may all be eating Trump steaks with Trump vodka come this November. No one wants that. Every election for who gets to host the big November party seems to be choosing of the lesser of two evils that keep growing more and more similar. The turn of the screw to the environment. The Bob faction of the family have reached a point where they look around at global warming and simply can't put up with the suicidal nonsense anymore. If you're going to deny science in favor of faith, you should be forbidden to fly in airplanes, be forbidden telephones, electricity, and modern medicine. It's lunacy to that level where we tacitly accept that science is okay when it's the latest iPhone, but not okay when it comes to keeping the biosphere in that delicate range that supports our form of life. Income inequality, the likes of which we haven't seen probably since the robber baron days. The Bob side of the family simply can't stomach it anymore. It is un-American, and it is truly the cancer at the heart of what was once the American dream. The Bob faction of the family understands that if we are going to cause the extinction of our own species and the destruction of the American dream, the only thing we have left to hold on to in the face of true man-made Armageddon is our integrity and our values. Integrity and values, those uncomfortable terms that liberals, now called progressives, have been trying to shout up to the big table for so many Thanksgiving dinners. It's all the real sustenance we have left. If Hillary isn't carving the turkey come this fall, understand clearly. It isn't Uncle Bob and his side of the family that is responsible. If the planet is going to be allowed to burn until it can no longer sustain human life, if income inequality is going to be escalated to the point where only lottery winners get to ride the gravy train, if corruption and voter disenfranchisement are going to be so ensconced that the very terms democracy, liberty, and freedom become jokes openly told by the royal class, you only have yourselves to blame. A huge part of your family has been trying to be heard for 20 plus years and now find themselves with only their values and integrity left to them. After years of being ignored and told to shut up and be thankful, the Bush/Trump/Ryan/KKK side of this American family is not carving the meat from the bone. Bob and his side are fed up. We understand clearly we are faced with ever more certain destruction of the biosphere and the death of the American dream at the hands of the kind of politics of both, and the death of the American dream at the hands of the kind of politics of both sides. Many of us understand that hell is coming. Hell is not made by gods and devils. Hell is an invention of man. So many who see the world of potential paradise would rather hold on to integrity and values in the face of annihilation than succumb to the utter despair of self-fulfilling, soul-crushing destiny of Paradise Lost. Now remember, he wrote this during the primary when he wrote this next line. It is not too late. The Uncle Bob side of the family is still willing to work together, but there is no blame. After 20 plus years of shouting into the wind, if some progressives refuse to surrender that last shred of their integrity because fear has driven them to it at the end of the losing game. Truth be told, I would rather have a stronger voice than Uncle Bob leading this charge in this time of history. Our sister Elizabeth Warren would have been much more welcome, but we couldn't talk her into it no matter how much we tried. Right or wrong, Bob is the one who stood up. So many of the audacity side of the family have so little respect for Bob and his side that if it is shocking, if not outright offensive. If you find yourself eating Trump steak, drinking Trump vodka this November, it isn't because of Bob. The progressive side of the family is bigger than Uncle Bob. If you're eating at Trump's table come November, it will mean that you refuse to let the progressive side of the family sit at the big table, be part of helping to shape the future of the family, and share in the whole meal and discussions of the future. Kick Uncle Bob and his part of the family at the kiddie table at your own peril, and the peril of our entire nation, perhaps the whole human race. In face of certain annihilation, I can't fault members of the family for facing extinction, holding on to their values and integrity. My friend Mike Dawson there is doing a bit of doomsaying. And coming from that, I understand. He has a point. He has a very good point. But I also have a good point. The world's lived through worse. Many of us around, and by that I mean Gen X, we've lived through worse. We've lived through really bad. Might this be worse than that? Maybe. But the feeling that you got right now was the feeling that the left had in the advent of the election of Ronald Reagan and the advent of the election of Bush. Now, granted, those people had some fucking experience. Ronald Reagan was a governor after all. Hell, at this point, Arnold probably would have been a better choice. But I'm saying this now, we're going to weather this. We're going to weather this shitstorm. There's no doubt in my mind that we can do it. We're crazy. We're nuts. And there's a bit of us that thrives on conflict and crisis. So while everyone else gnashes their teeth, we're going to focus on what we should have been focusing on, the things that bring us together. We're going to focus on fun, and we are going to unleash the great American nightmare. There's going to be no time to kid glove it. Fuck all that. Going to be no safe spaces. Fuck all that. Don't need to do that shit. It's going to be the age of aggression. Age of anger and age of the wild. You could do it. And when I say you could do it, I'm talking to those that they call the millennials, the younger generation. You could do it. Why? We did it. We did it, and you can too. We're still around. Millennials never fucking bring up Big Brother and Big Sister Gen X. We got your back. We're here. Hold fast to what you know is important. Hold fast to that human connection. And if you're like, holy shit, I don't have any friends I could just hang out with. It's time to fix that shit. It's time to get that ball back rolling. Because remember, at the end of the day, what's one of the other things that happened? Pot is now legal in California. I'm sure there's going to be a day when that's actually goes into effect. I don't think it happens immediately. But pot gonna be legal in fucking California. Holy shit.
We're gonna need it.
Yeah, we're gonna need it. We're gonna need that shit. It is party time. Just remember the words of Tupac. California love. California knows how to party. Colorado's got it too. So hey, there's that. Because the thing is, everyone is going to think that when I say something like the Great American Nightmare, what I mean is Trump. But when I say the Great American Nightmare, I mean us. We're the Great American Nightmare. Because if he sits in the Oval Office, there's going to be no, and I mean no, stopping the barrage of anger and frustration and hate and pissed offness that's coming his way.